again, everyone. My name is Kathleen Collins, and I'm a violinist in the Cleveland Orchestra. Welcome back one last time. This is the very last lesson in my series called Music and Our Senses. Today we're going to be learning about something that we call musical texture. We'll talk about that more in just a minute. I'm going to start out today by playing a little bit of a tune that I think you'll probably be familiar with if you've been with me the last 3 or 4 times. I would like you to think about what sort of mood this piece of music makes you feel. Think about some activity that makes you feel like doing, maybe, but think about the emotion especially that it gives you. What did you think about that? It's kind of a happy tune, isn't it? It's a little bit bouncy. It makes me feel like skipping along with it. And as the music goes on, it gets a little bouncier as that tune progresses. It's a pretty neat, nifty little tune. But the way the composer achieves setting that kind of mood is by the use of musical texture. So texture is something, when we talk about texture, we're usually talking about something that we can feel with our sense of touch. So if, for instance, if you feel your hair, you'll notice that your hair is probably really soft. If you touch something like this chair over here, for instance, you might find it's smooth, but it's kind of hard. I can knock it, it makes a knocking sound. You can't do that with my hair, because my hair is kind of soft and just a gentle sort of, it's just a gentle softness there. Doesn't make any noise when I try to knock against it. No, nothing. But that's the difference in texture, and we usually you see that or feel it with our sense of touch. You can also see texture if you go to the art museum, for instance, and you look at different paintings. Sometimes you'll even see brush strokes. You can see sometimes whether something's bumpy or smooth. If it's rough, sandpaper looks really rough. You can tell that before you even touch it. Whereas water, if it's really crystal clear and smooth, it can feel super soft and just look and feel so smooth. You can tell that with your eyes. But we don't usually think of hearing texture. However, I'm going to play you 2 different pieces of music with a very different texture, and see if we can sort of put some descriptive words on this texture. Here's the first excerpt. Now, here's a very contrasting musical excerpt with a very different kind of texture. Wow, that was really different, wasn't it? It almost didn't even sound like the same instrument. Could you believe it was the violin that was playing both of those 2 pieces of music? So, just like what we noticed the last time, there are things that you can both hear when you're talking about musical texture, and you can see them with your eyes, especially on a string musical instrument. The first excerpt you probably noticed was really, really smooth. It just felt like gliding. And if you notice with my bow, that's exactly what was happening. I was playing really nice long bows, gliding sounds. In fact, the title of this musical piece is called The Swan. So the composer used this texture to depict a really, really beautiful, lovely swan gracefully floating through the water. And you can hear that and see that at the same time with how the violin is playing. Notice this. Wasn't that beautiful? Now in the second excerpt, you probably noticed how rough and jagged it sounded. It really sounded nasty and snarly. And even though the composer of this second piece, his name was Sergei Prokofiev, he didn't exactly say what he was trying to depict. I think he was probably depicting a very, very intense emotion, most likely something very angry. In his musical directions, he tells the instrumentalist, the violinist, that they're supposed to play right next to the bridge. Now the bridge is this piece right here, this sort of white piece. It's called the bridge. It holds up the strings. When you play really, really close to it, it makes a very raspy sound. Like that. It's a pretty ugly, angry sound, but that's what the composer wanted in this case. Now, the other thing you'll probably notice is that the bow was going in the same direction over and over and over again, right down at the very bottom. So I'm at the very heaviest part of the bow to give a lot of weight, playing really close to the bridge, that ugly, raspy sound. And it was also really in the low register. Remember, musical register was something that we talked about last time. So all of those things combined makes this a very, very angry, aggressive, and bumpy and rough sounding excerpt. Very different from the beautiful, graceful swan that the violin played before. So watch again. I'm gonna play a little bit of this excerpt really, really close to the bridge, down low in my bow, and with that sort of bouncy, jagged strokes. It's kind of fun to make those not so beautiful noises sometimes. Very good. Now, what I want us to try to do together is to create a little texture with our hands. Just using our hands, we're going to play a rhythm using our hands to clap. Now, the rhythm goes to these words. The words go like this. Wish I had a pizza. Can you say that with me? Ready, and wish I had a pizza. Okay, now we're gonna clap it together. So ready, here we go. Wish I had a pizza. Great, let's try that one more time, but without the words this time, just clapping. Ready, here we go, ready, and great. Let's try that same rhythm, but instead of clapping, let's rub our hands back and forth. You ready? Here we go. Ooh, try that once more. Ready? Here we go. Same rhythm, it just sounded really different. Now, one last try. We're gonna do that same rhythm, but this time use your fingers to snap. Okay, ready? Same rhythm. Ready, go. One more time. Ready, and good. I'm a lot better at snapping with this hand than this hand, but you could see that it was a very different sounding texture. So we created 3 different textures just like that, just using our hands. Very different musical textures with the same rhythm. That is really, really interesting how that can work. All right, now we're at the very end. I'm gonna play for you the very same piece that I started out playing like 3 or 4 sessions ago when we were first learning about dynamics. And this is the piece called Humoresque by Dvorak. What I would love you to do this time, now that you know so much about dynamics and tempo and register and texture, I want you to listen really closely with your ears wide open, your eyes really, really paying attention, and see all the different cool things about music that you can notice in this piece, because it's in there, all of those things, different dynamics, different tempos, different registers, and different textures. Hope you enjoy this. Great, I hope you had as fun a time as I had. It was really great being with you. We'll see you for some other lessons sometime soon, I hope. Bye.